always tend to like to do my goal video, just me yapping to the camera. Not necessarily like the most set rules for goals, but just like vibes, because that's who I am as a person. I am not a very strict follower of things. I exist in my moods, I exist in vibes, and so I kind of just bring that to my goal video every single year. The only goal I typically ever have is a subscriber goal, and I don't think I have one this year. I guess I'll just put a number out into the ether, but like I don't really have like a set, I want to gain this many subscribers. My channel has been growing pretty consistently over the last 5 years, and I just want it to grow. I just want to continue making an incredible community. I just want to continue being able to do the things I love. So it's not necessarily about reaching a number. We're just gonna put 24,000 out into the ether as like a subscriber count goal, but really I just want to have natural growth that is productive to me and my channel. I've always tried to engage honestly and rawly to hopefully connect with people who connect back with me, and that's what I want. I want a community. I don't just want a number. So that's why I think this is a little bit harder for me this year, because I really have a focus on wanting that to grow, like the community to grow, not just the number to grow. Like the people who are commenting on every video, who I'm excited to reply back to, like who I notice and mention and like things like that, that's what I want to grow. And so yeah, I don't know what else to say on that. After that, I think the most natural goal that comes to my brain is to continue having shelves of things I love. This started last year. I used to just buy things and have like a huge TBR, and I've definitely gone a little bit backwards on that, and I definitely have been trying to make sure my shelves are filled with trophies, make sure they're filled with my favorite things I'm really excited about. I don't want series that sit on my shelves forever. There are definitely still some that I need to get at, and that's what I'm looking at right now, but I've really tried to be very picky with the things I buy. I don't want to not have any TBR, like that's not my end goal. I'm a mood reader. I love having a TBR, but I want it to be things I'm actively interested in, which has always been my goal. You see it in Reader DNF with series too. My goal is always for most things to be, I want to actively be excited in everything that I'm seeing and doing and reading, and I've really been picky about buying things this year, and that was easy when I didn't have shelf space. That was easy when I only owned like 3 bookshelves. I now own 11 that are very, very empty, and I've already sensed me being like, oh, I could just buy it. I have room, and I don't want that. So I really need to focus on this like goal, and this like, it's not even a goal, it's just like a brain thing. Like, this is what I want my library to look like. This is what I want my vibes to be. Like, this is what I want my essence of this room that I work in and spend most of my time to be, is like things I love. I never want to look at a shelf and be like, wow, that makes me depressed because I haven't read that in 7 years and it's still on the shelf. Or like, I don't even want to read that, so why is it still on my shelf? Like, I don't want those feelings. Really just continue to build a library full of things I love, and I just don't want to be filling the shelves just cause. So that is a big thing that I would like to continue on the channel. I feel like Reader DNF is like a big way that you're seeing me progress through that, but I'm curious if there's any other like content things that people think would be good for that. I don't know. Next up, one you probably see every year from me is marathoning series. I'm a binge reader. I'm a series reader at my core. I love them. I have some series I'm planning to prioritize in the new year. I just want to continue that. I found a good love this year of a lot of books, I think because I went back to marathoning them. I feel like for a while on BookTube, I felt like I couldn't read series because like sequel vlogs didn't do that good. And now my sequel vlogs are like the best on my channel due to Reader DNF, but I just feel like I've found a way to make them fit in, and I've also found an audience and a community who cares about just me. You don't care if I'm reading a sequel or a first book, you're just here for the vibes and enjoy my content and everything, and I think that that has made it easier to go back to marathoning series, and I found I love reading more when I marathon series, so I just want to prioritize that in the new year. This does not mean back to back, although that is my preferred method, just back to back to back, but even just like month to month picking up another book in a series and not letting it go forever, because I typically tend to forget, and that's also why like when new releases come out, I tend to fall back behind on like second books in new releases, because I'm just such a marathon reader at my core, and it's been so long that I would feel like I lose interest a little bit in picking it up, and then it sits on my shelf for too long. So I want to like really much prioritize marathoning series, and maybe even prioritize reading sequels to the series I'm liking as they come out, you know? Because I think that would help me too, because I have a few this year, like the Powerless sequel and the Heartless Hunter sequel sequel jump to my brain as like, I still haven't read those and how haven't I? But it's that year in between. I'm just not good with breaks. Actually, the next couple do, I think, have more of a number to them. They're more percentages and I don't care if I hit them. I just want to read more. I would like to be reading more standard fantasy. I started my channel on standard fantasy and I moved to romantasy because I just felt like I wasn't reading what I wanted to in fantasy. It wasn't being published. I was really struggling to find books that I was loving. This like quest driven or humor driven or like male target demographic stories were really being published and I'm not the male target demographic. So then I really fell head over heels for romantasy being that target demographic and I don't want that to go away. I love romantasy wholeheartedly and do think it has become a favorite genre. Well, micro genre, I don't even know what we call it because it's technically part of fantasy, but I really fell back in love with just fantasy in general this year and I would like to continue that into 2026 and read more. Technically I have it at 20% or more being fantasy, but I don't really care if I hit that number. It's more just like the vibe of wanting to read more fantasy and I think I read about 18% this year. I just want to be reading it. I truly just want to be picking it up. I'm excited for a lot of things being published that are deemed more fantasy, but it is a hard line because what's fantasy and what's fantasy romance? You don't really know and it's just kind of marketing. Really, it's all just marketing. So yeah, there's that. And then similar, I really enjoyed new releases this year. I had a lot of fun reading them. I did like my new release vlogs and stuff and I would like to continue that. I think I sit somewhere around like 15% new releases this year. So again, similar, like 20% or more to be new releases, but I don't care if I hit that number. I just want to be reading new releases. I don't want to let those go away. I want to continue like the pacing I was doing and enjoying picking those up and being excited about them and like telling everyone whether they should read them or pick them up or not was really exciting for me and I really enjoyed those videos. So that's something I would like to continue to do in the new year. And then trying new authors. This one I don't think will have a stat on it at all, but I just would like to try new authors constantly. I found a couple authors that I loved this year for trying them for the first time or just really exploring. I think I am someone who sometimes gets stuck and like reads a whole backlist of someone or like just is very interested in once I love a series by an author picking up everything that they've ever written or like their new releases right away, which I still want to do, but I also tried some new authors this year and had a lot of fun with it. So that is something. On top of that, I want to give out a certain number of stars. I think I want to give out 300 stars in the new year. Now, I don't really care if I hit this. I just think it's a fun little stat personally and it helps me try to read more good books and DNF the other ones. 260 stars would get me at my goal of 120 books each year. It's just a random number I picked and then it's just stayed. 260 stars is 120 books times 3, which is technically just a 3-star average. But I thought it'd be fun. I'm thinking about in a reading journal just tracking how many stars I give out with like star stickers and just having pages of stars. I think that would be like a lot of fun to track and it encourages me to like read 5 stars and 4 stars and not read those 2 stars and 1 stars because I can't personally increase the number of books I'm really reading. I've been pretty standard at 10 books a month, which is that 120. And so it's more about me prioritizing 4 and 5 stars and letting go of the shittier books because I can't just be like, oh, well, I'll read 4 2-star books to make up for it. That's not going to work for me. I cannot increase my reading that much more. I have found that I love the pace I'm at for reading and I don't need to increase it. I don't need to be striving for more. I'm not even making 120 books this year. I don't feel bad about it at all. I read what I could read. I enjoyed what I could read. I read at a pacing that felt normal and natural for my job, for my lifestyle, for how I exist in media. And that is what I enjoy. And there's no wanting to read more or even wanting to read less. I'm happy with where I have settled in a reading pace. And I've learned to give myself grace for months that I read less and to love the months I read more and just be very in tune with my reading moods, I guess. Another thing I'm really excited about is to prioritize reading challenges. I don't really know how to do this, but I feel like a couple years ago, I was really good at reading challenges. I love them. I love making TBRs for them, but I used to be successful at finishing them too. I don't need to read the entire TBR, but like when it comes to our fantasy, I used to at the end of the year look and be like, okay, I have 3 more spots that I need to fill. Let's read for those 3 spots and fill it. And I would just fill them with like whatever I read that year. I don't need to like literally follow a set TBR for them, but I have fallen off that wagon. Even with our fantasy every year, I'm like, well, oops. And so I love reading challenges. I make them like crazy on this channel. They're some of my favorite things. So I want to prioritize them. I want to prioritize doing them. I want to prioritize working on them. I don't need need to complete them, to be honest. I don't need that, but I need to work on them. I want to enjoy them. I want to participate in them. So that's something. I know I have my romantasy bingo, I have horror bingo, I have our fantasy bingo, there's thriller bingo, there's the gauntlet challenge. There's so many that I'm excited about and I love them. I literally love them. So I just want to figure out a way to actively like update myself on them every single month. This doesn't need to be publicly on YouTube. It might be in my Patreon because we have like little discussions for a lot of them that we're all participating in, or maybe Instagram. I feel like I need to like update myself on them constantly so that I'm aware of what I'm doing, that I'm participating in them and feeling like I'm participating in them a little bit more. I also love readathons. So I typically do participate in readathons. So that one's like not necessarily a goal. I need to participate in the challenges. And if you have any challenges that you know of, link them down below, like comment them down so that I can check them out because I literally love them. I think that's something that I would like to be better at, is just knowing that I'm working on them, like prioritizing, checking up on them, I guess. And if there is a way I can do this on YouTube, also I would be very interested. I want to also just continue with like series, like episodic YouTube content of some sort. Reader DNF, I've kind of talked about feeling like I've made it, but also Reader DNF, the thing for me is how I read is I don't want to start and a finish. I am very much someone who is just about vibes. And so even with something like Reader DNF, 40 series for me right now feels very manageable, but in 2 weeks time I could be stressed about it and need to do an episode. And so I have a problem that I sometimes feel bad about, is that I can't be consistent the way other people can be with episodic content. I am never going to be someone who says you get this every single month. It's going to be when I'm in the mood, when I feel like I need to make this content, when I need to do this. And so I'm hoping that people will be okay with that, as like Reader DNF kind of just doesn't become a priority for me anymore because it doesn't feel like a priority anymore. So like I'll still do some episodes here and there. I'm not putting like an end, this is finished statement on it, but it's definitely not going to be like it was at the beginning of last year. But I'd like to do more things like this that I can just like return to time and time again when I feel the want or the need or the desire to. And so like that's something I would like to continue. I have TBR swap that's really good for that. I think my like wheel picks, which is like the childhood cartoons or Barbie or Monster High, those things like Sims 4, I think that's easy for me to return to time and time again. And so there's that. I think unsubscribe my wallet could be something that I return to over and over again because I will never probably stop having subscription boxes, and so I could just continue to read them and talk about them and things like that, like things that don't necessarily have a start and an end that I can just continually do and they feel episodic in a way. That's something I would like to continue coming up with concepts for and ideas for. Same with even like reading my anticipated releases. I feel like I did that like 4 times this year and it felt like episodic to me, maybe not to everyone else, but it did to me. And I liked that that was something that when I had more books I was excited about, I could just be like, oh, I'll do an episode of that, even though I never like said it was a series. In general, I just think that I have found a sweet spot for myself and this channel and creating what I love to create and never creating anything that I don't love to create. I don't put filler videos. I don't chase the algorithm. I mean, obviously like everybody on YouTube does to some extent, but I'm not putting out videos just to put out videos. I am very interested in the things I put out and I think that they will do well or they won't do well or whatever, but like I'm not out there just like blindly chasing an algorithm anymore. I'm just proud of my content and I would like to continue to be proud of it. I'd like to continue to make friends on YouTube. There's so many things that aren't like set goals. Like I don't set goals in the way other people do. I just have these like visions of like what I want or like vibes of what I want, and I just like to work towards them in a leisurely pace. There are some months where I want to talk to every single person constantly, and there are some months where I want to hide in a corner and not reply to my comments because everything is just overwhelming. And I find that when I set expectations up for very much like I need to do this every single month, I fail at that because I'm just not that person. So that's where kind of just vibe comes in. Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to hear some of your goals. I don't have many more than this. If I think of any, I'll leave them in the comments down below. But as I said, I think the main thing is I want to continue growing this community. And one of my favorite ways I've done that has been through Patreon. I do not talk about it all the time because I would like to say I talk about things I do on Patreon, but I don't like promote my Patreon a lot because I never want to feel like anyone is forced into it. But I'm very proud of what I've created on Patreon. I'm very proud of the community I've created on there. I'm very proud of going in there every day and being excited to message people, to hear about people's days, to hear about what they're reading. It has been a wonderful experience for me to be a creative outlet, to discuss random things, to learn about other people's hobbies. It's not just a reading space. We talk about video games, we game together, we share our food, we talk about music. We've watched like the VMAs in like a little watch along. We watched Dancing with the Stars in a watch along. Like there's so many aspects to it that I've had so much fun. And so I would like to grow that. That is very much something I would like to continue to grow. And I know I have a really cool Patreon readathon coming up in January. It is a sorting hat for Realmathon. So you get a sneak peek and you answer a bunch of questions, and based on your answers, I put you in a team. You don't have to join that team. I will say I am planning on having this readathon be access to the public through paying. I will sell this readathon, I think, in February, but it'll be more expensive than if you joined and participated in January. But if you miss it, there is an opportunity in February to participate, but it has nothing to do. I've run it every single year. There's always like a sorting hat for Realmathon, so it does not affect you enjoying Realmathon, which is the month-long readathon that I do every March. I'm very excited for that. It's going to be really creative. I think that I've created something special. I will toot my own horn. I am very proud of what I'm doing for it this year. And then also I'd like to grow my Instagram. I had a lot of fun on Instagram this year. I have grown it quite a bit and I would like to continue to grow it. So there's that. That's it. I'm done. I need to stop yapping, and I'm gonna get sappy for a second and just say I appreciate and love every single one of you. If you even just watch a second of my video, you have helped me make a living off of doing something that I love. This is my full-time job. I bought a house with my boyfriend this year because I have enough money financially because of this, and that's absolutely incredible. Well, I mean, he pays a lot more. He's got a big boy job, but I can help, and we can afford the house we can afford with the money that comes from this. And so thank you so freaking much. From the bottom of my heart, I look forward to creating content, to making videos, to talking to you guys in the comments, to seeing what I'm tagged on Instagram, to seeing the videos I'm mentioned in. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. So have an incredible day, and I will leave some videos on the screen for you to check out if you want to keep watching my channel.